The movie starts inside a spaceship named Orbiter 9, in which a beautiful 20-year-old girl Helena is traveling alone. The spaceship was on a journey from Earth to a planet called Sciolist. Helena had spent her entire life in this spaceship since childhood. Due to overpopulation, global warming and air pollution, researchers were looking for a new planet, where human beings can leave Earth and go there to settle themselves. That's why researchers sent Helena on a mission to test a new planet Sciolist. Having traveled for 20 years, Helena was only halfway there, and she still had another 20 years to reach Sciolist. Initially, the newborn Helena was brought to the spaceship by her mom and dad and they raised her in the spaceship. But 3 years ago, due to a malfunction in the spaceship, the oxygen level in the spaceship was very low. Now, if the three of them stayed in the spaceship, the oxygen would only last for a year, so Helena's parents, without saying her final goodbye, secretly jumps from a spaceship into space and sacrifice their life so that Helena can live. And now Helena alone in spaceship, oxygen will last about 3 to 4 years in spaceship, and during these 3 or 4 years, an engineer from the space station will reach her spaceship for help. And so Helena spent the last 3 years alone in the ship. Then one day the oxygen level in the spaceship drops to just 1%. The spaceship's artificial intelligence tells Helena that an engineer will arrive to assist her in the next 17 hours. Helena was about to meet a human for the first time in her life other than her parents. A few hours later, the emergency alarm suddenly starts sounding in the spaceship and the spaceship starts moving rapidly. She runs into the spaceship's control room and finds a space capsule being attached to her spaceship. And then, as the door to his spaceship opens, there is a boy about his age standing in front of her. Helena saw a boy for the first time in her entire life. She was lost as soon as she saw him. He tells Helena that he is an engineer, and only has 50 hours for the repair work. The engineer also had a mini-robot. The mini-robot helped the engineer in fault finding. Helena wanted to stay with the engineer under some pretext, but the engineer was trying to avoid her. Helena asks the engineer his name and the engineer tells him his name is Alex. Helena asks him to stay for dinner, but after some hesitation, Alex agrees to have dinner with her. Helena gets quite happy and Alex gets down to work after dinner. While Alex was busy and working, Helena goes into Alex's room and looks through his things. There she also talks to the mini-robot. Then at night Alex is sleeping in his room. Then Helena silently walks into Alex's room, and start feeling the body of the sleeping Alex. Suddenly, Alex wakes up. Before Alex can say anything, Helena says that she has never kissed anyone before, and the next 20 years she is going to spend in this spaceship alone. Alex doesn't say anything after that and they make a physical relation. Then a few hours later, Alex leaves the spaceship without saying goodbye to Helena. A short time later, Alex's space capsule opens into a tunnel, and as he exits through an elevator, we see that he is still on Earth. It turns out that Alex was on Earth and so was Helena. In fact, there was a secret military program running there called the Orbit Program. That place was in a secret area in the middle of a dense forest. There were 10 separate spaceship simulators built underground. These were named Orbiter 1 and Orbiter 2 and so on up to Orbiter 10. In each simulator, one passenger was kept and the scientists were researching on them. Scientists were researching how the human body would react in space during the journey of the Sciolist planet, so that the bad effect and pressure on the human body during the actual journey can be dealt with well. Scientists had a vision to send human race to Sciolist. Among them Helena was in 9th Space Orbiter, but not a single passenger had any idea of the truth. They believed that they are alone in space heading towards Sciolist planet. Alexis worked as a scientist at the agency that ran the program. Alex enters the agency. There, the chief scientist of the Orbit program tells Alex that their space program is succeeding very quickly, and if this continues, in the next 20 to 30 years the first spaceship will actually fly to the Sciolist planet. Alex is finally leaving this secret place for his home. He is checked at the military check post. The radio in the car was talking about a disaster in Sciolist spaceship. In fact, 5 years ago, a spaceship was supposed to be sent to the Sciolist planet, but seconds before the spaceship was about to take off, a technical malfunction caused to explode the spaceship, in which all crew members were burnt to death. The head engineer for that project was Alex. Alex had gone into a bit of a depression after the crash, because not only were the crew members killed, but Sciolist planet's mission was far behind. Taking a lesson from this accident, scientists first wanted to test all the possibilities through simulation, so that nothing goes wrong this time. Then, when Alex is resting at home, the mini-robot suddenly projects a video of Helena on the wall. In this video, Helena has the same sweet words she used to say to the mini-robot. The mini-robot had secretly recorded a video of Helena. The next night Alex goes to see his psychologist. The psychologist kept her face hidden but she can see her client clearly from behind a screen. But on the other hand, the client doesn't see anything. Only an animated fox face was visible. Alex tells the psychologist about the passenger inside the simulator, that all the passengers are being used in the simulator like scientists use rats in a lab to experiment on them. He felt bad for those passengers, especially Helena. Alex watched Helena from his home lab. He kept thinking about her and couldn't get Helena out of his mind. And then one day, Alex's patience wears thin and he leaves for Orbiter 9 in a secret military facility. Meanwhile, Helena was disappointed in her spaceship. Suddenly her spaceship starts shaking, and the alarm goes on. She sees in the control panel that the space capsule is attaching to its spaceship. She did not understand anything because she had not sent any service request. She is then stunned to see Alex suddenly emerge from the space capsule. She notices that Alex has arrived without a space suit. Alex tells her that it's not a spaceship, it's a simulator, and Earth is just beyond the door. He tells Helena that they have to leave right now. Helena doesn't understand and panics, and asks Alex to go back to his space capsule. Hearing this, Alex removes the camera and says that she was being recorded since childhood. Helena is still confused and scared, but she agrees with Alex. He sets the mini robot in Helena's place and puts all the plugs on it, allowing the agency to receive Helena's health reports as before. Finally he leaves, taking Helena with him. Alex was holding her hand and leading her out. Helena was quite nervous. As she steps out, Helena suddenly feels a very bright light, her heart racing. She had never been in the sunlight in her entire life. Alex hides her in a large box in the back of his truck and then covers the box with his space suit. Arriving at a military checkpoint, a soldier begins scanning his truck with a radiation detector. As he moves toward the back of the truck, the beeping of the detector gets louder. Alex was scared. He is about to drive the truck away, then the soldier tells him that Alex left his space suit outside, so the scanner is picking up radiation. Then he signals the truck to go without even checking the box on the truck, and Alex quickly gets out of there. He then takes Helena out on a hill. He tells Helena about the whole simulator program that has been going on since before Helena was born. He also explains that the fault in the oxygen supply was an excuse. In fact, he came to the spaceship to test the technology of the artificial intelligence. After knowing everything, Helena desires to meet her parents. Alex says no one should know she's out, especially her parents, who are military scientists. They devoted more than half of their life to this project. She should never make the mistake of finding her family among these people. She will gain nothing but disappointment. Then Alex takes her to his house. There, Helena sees many unusual things for the first time in her life. She feels the rain for the first time. The next day, Alex leaves Helena at his house and goes to work. After work he goes to his psychologist and tells the truth that he has taken Helena out with him. As Alex is leaving, the psychologist confronts Alex. She gives him her personal phone number so that he can contact her if he ever needs any help. Alex shows Helena live videos of other simulators from his homemade lab. He says that the cameras are not installed in the bedrooms and bathrooms, but only in the corridors and entrances. Helena asks if the agency will see that Helena is not on the spaceship, then what will happen. Alex explains that he will shoot video from home and mix it with the spaceship's video feed. Alex further informs her that the door to the simulator only opens for any passenger when he dies. Once the passenger enters the simulator, his journey is extended by one excuse or another. Unless he dies naturally, getting rid from simulator is possible only after death. This is how the orbiter program was designed. Then one day, Helena shows Alex the scars on her back. Alex takes her to a doctor who tells him that Helena's skin is very sensitive and that the sun's rays are damaging her skin. At the doctor's insistence, Alex tells him the truth about Helena. The doctor instructs him to take care a lot. One day, in the absence of Alex, Helena notices a secret report. That report reveals to her that she is actually a clone. She decides to go to the bottom of the truth, and after extracting the address of her parents from this report file, she did not inform Alex and goes to meet them. She finally meets her parents, who tell her that yes, she is a clone, but she is in no way less than a naturally born human being. But in many cases she is better than them. Meanwhile, Helena's father brings handcuffs and ties Helena to the railing there. He is then about to call the agency when Helena's mother stabs him in the head from behind and knocks him unconscious. Meanwhile, upon reaching home, Alex didn't find Helena, and seeing the report scattered in the room, he realizes that Helena has gone to meet her parents. Meanwhile, freeing Helena, her mother asks her to run away. She tells her that when her father will conscious, he will definitely tell the agency about Helena. Saying goodbye to her mother, Helena runs away. After regaining consciousness, Helena's father immediately reports her escape to the agency. Meanwhile, Helena reaches back to Alex's house and they both run away from home. Meanwhile, Chief Scientist Commando leaves for Alex's house with his friend. Alex and Helena go to psychologist to ask them for her help. The chief scientist also comes there to track them. The psychologist tries to hide them both but fails, and is killed by a commando. Alex and Helena run away for their lives. The commandos and the chief scientist also run after them. After going to one place, both of them got stuck. Now they had no other option but to jump from there to another roof. Helena tells Alex to jump first. Alex jumps, then he tells Helena to jump too, but Helena doesn't jump. She decided to surrender to save Alex. Finally, the commandos capture Helena and shoot Alex as well, but he runs away from there. After leaving there, Alex meets his doctor friend. The doctor tells Alex that Helena's medical report is not good. Her skin is rapidly progressing towards disease. She cannot live in sunlight. Alex tells the doctor that Helena is no longer with him. The agency has captured her and taken her away. After hearing, Doctor says that in a way this is good for Helena, as her body has become accustomed to the pressurized environment of the spaceship, and she will not be able to live outside of it anymore. The doctor further reveals that Helena is pregnant. Meanwhile, the chief scientist at the agency tells Helena that she is no longer of any use to them, so the agency is going to terminate her. Then he gets a call from Alex, who tells him that he has a lucrative deal for him, the most profitable of which is the chief scientist. Helena then leaves for the agency. On the other hand, Helena was being taken to be given a poison injection. Alex quickly moves forward, breaking through the military checkpoint. Military soldiers shoot at him. A bullet hits his shoulder. Then the chief scientist comes there and stops the soldiers. After that, they meet Alex and Helena. Both of them get very emotional seeing each other. Alex then tells the chief scientist that he wants to be inside the spaceship simulator with Helena. Alex shows Helena's medical report to the chief scientist. Helena was 6 weeks pregnant. A girl was crying inside her. It was agreed between Alex and the chief scientist that the agency would not kill Helena, and that in exchange Helena would deliver the baby in the simulator, from which the agency will be able to record her medical data and research on it. Because no baby had been delivered inside the simulator until now, that's why Helena's pregnancy was actually life-saving for her. But Helena has a condition that when her daughter is a little older, she will be freed from the simulator. And then a few years later, Helena's daughter gets out of the simulator, and here the movie ends.